Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Consumer Warrior YouTube channel. I'm here on a 3-day weekend. I'm actually at work, unfortunately, and I thought I'd take a few minutes to make a quick video on one of my favorite TV shows and one of my favorite clips from that show, The Office. I think I've watched every single episode with my kids, but as a bankruptcy attorney like myself, we all know this one specific episode where Michael Scott from Dunder Mifflin finds himself in the position of needing and possibly needing to file for bankruptcy. And there's a scene in this episode where Michael is contemplating bankruptcy and what that's going to look like and how he goes about it. I thought it might be good to watch that video with you, maybe separate fact from fiction if you're contemplating needing to file for bankruptcy, and give you some tips along the way. So let's go ahead and jump right into Michael Scott and some of his financial woes and how he finds out whether bankruptcy is a good option.
Hey, cuz. Heard you're having money problems.
No, you didn't.
Listen, I got the answer. You declare bankruptcy, all your problems go away. Creed.
All right, first of all, while bankruptcy does fix a lot of problems, all your problems will not go away. It is very effective, though, at dealing with unsecured debts like credit cards, medical bills. Those things will be discharged. One thing you'll notice that Michael does, the first thing he does when he's having financial difficulty, he starts getting advice from friends and from family. And that's completely natural. We all do that. The issue is, a lot of times, the sources that we go to for information, they probably aren't very knowledgeable in it, or they haven't dealt with it very often. Like here, Michael's going to Creed Bratton. Probably not the best source for bankruptcy information. If you're considering filing for bankruptcy, I'd highly recommend you contact a bankruptcy attorney and at least have a consultation to go through the process. It's much more complex than a lot of people think it's going to be. For some reason, along the way, it got this reputation of just being a bunch of forms you fill out. There are forms, about 90 pages of them, and if you don't complete it correctly, and if you're not aware of certain situations with assets and transfers of assets, you can run into a lot of problems. So it's good to talk to family, friends, maybe get referrals for bankruptcy attorneys like myself, but it's important to get the information that's going to be good information and not just from any random Creed Bratton out there. All right, let's see what this step he takes next.
Bratton has never declared bankruptcy. When Creed Bratton gets in trouble, he transfers his debt to William Charles Schneider.
How would that?
All right, that's a felony. So this goes along those same thing I was just talking about. You got to be super careful about the information that you receive from people, because I get that a lot when people come in for consultations. They say, well, can I just transfer some assets to my brother or to my father, mother, whatever, while I go through this process, and then I'll just transfer everything back. They've thought of that. You're not the first person to go through this. They know all the issues and problems that can arise from that. That can cause a problem. And particularly if you're being untruthful on any part of the information you submit to the bankruptcy court, they can prosecute that as a felony, as bankruptcy fraud. And if you don't think that they actually pursue that, you just need to look at your this long list of reality TV show people that for some reason find themselves in bankruptcy and then committing fraud by not disclosing all of their assets. So if you are going through the bankruptcy process, it's very, very important that you be completely truthful with your bankruptcy attorney as well as with the court.
That help, Creed. In Monopoly, you go bankrupt, you lose.
You don't go by Monopoly, man. That game is nuts. Nobody just picks up get-out-of-jail-free cards. Those things cost thousands.
That is a good point.
Bankruptcy, Michael, is nature's do-over. It's a fresh start. It's a clean slate.
Like the witness protection program.
Exactly.
Not at all.
I'm glad Oscar's there to help out in this one. Bankruptcy is a fresh start. It is the ability to start again. Something that's kind of interesting when you look at your credit report about 60 days after a bankruptcy is over, your creditors are still listed there, but they're zeroed out. They're showing that there's no money owed and that the amounts were discharged in bankruptcy. Not only that, most people recover as far as their credit score within 12 to 18 months. Most people can even qualify for a mortgage 18 months to 3 years after a bankruptcy case is filed. So while I don't sugarcoat it that there are definitely consequences to filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy, if you're dealing with an overwhelming debt problem, it can be a great way to get a fresh start. I don't know if I'd call it nature's do-over, or for sure it's not like the witness protection program, but there are a lot of benefits to a Chapter 7 discharge.
I've always wanted to be in the witness protection program. Fresh start. No debts, no baggage. I've already got my name picked out. Lord Rupert Everton. I'm a shipping merchant who raises fancy dogs. That's the life.
I declare bankruptcy!
All right, that's the line that brings it home when he declares bankruptcy. And this clip actually it cut out one of my favorite parts. Oscar leans his head back in and says, you know, just saying bankruptcy doesn't do anything. And Michael says, I didn't say it, I declared it. And it's true, it's a lot more than declaring bankruptcy in a very emotional way like Michael did. Like I said, ton of paperwork, ton of information. In my office, we download all the data from the 3 different credit reporting agencies to get account numbers, balances. It literally is an 80 to 90 page document. There's transactions that have to be disclosed over the last couple of years. Obviously, your assets, creditors, all that kind of stuff goes into it. So there's a ton of information, much more than just stating it or even declaring it is involved in it. But I can tell you this, that like I said, if overwhelming debt or lawsuits or wage garnishment is what you're struggling with, bankruptcy, well, it's nobody's first choice. It's absolutely a very powerful tool that can help you deal with the debt once for all, get that fresh start and moved on. So I hope that helps in distinguishing a little bit of the fact from fiction. Don't take your legal advice from Michael Scott. If you're in Arizona, I do offer free bankruptcy consultations where I can go over in a lot more detail how the process will look for you. Thanks for watching today.